I would argue we have the top players from Japan, Korea, EU West all playing in this thing. I'm pretty sure the correct place to take the duplicator, but okay, I lost.
Today we're joined by challenger, educational TFT YouTuber, and the founder of two incredible ventures, Project PBE and Project MENTR, Watanabe Kai. Welcome to the show. It's nice to have you here, man.
Yeah, nice to be here. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so as some of you guys might have noticed already, we're doing this interview on PBE to celebrate the launch of, obviously, Project PBE on set 14. I'm going to get us into queue, and as I do that, I'm going to... Oh, wow, queue popped already.
That was fast.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask you the first question. It's been a couple of days since set 14 PBE dropped. How are you liking the set so far?
I think it's been fun. I think TFT is always very refreshing at the beginning because you get to play all these new units, new champs, and it's like a scramble of all like the top players, like trying to find what's fun and interesting and actually broken. So
Yeah.
that's been super enjoyable.
Yeah, what about the units?
I think the unit design is fine. It's nothing that's like I think Foden said it best, where like I don't need them to reinvent the wheel. I just want this to be like a visually stimulating and generally just fun TFT experience, and that's what this set is. So I think it's gonna be a really chill set. I think for casual players it'll be fun as well. There's nothing like super stimulating, but in terms of like new mechanics or anything like that. But in terms of like the actual visual gameplay and like how the set feels, it feels like TFT, I guess.
Yeah,
and that's
for sure.
I guess what's most important.
Yeah, there's some super cool units. What are you feeling about the set mechanics so far? The hacks?
I don't mind it now. I'm gonna hate it later. I know that for a fact. I hated encounters, and this is, I'm not gonna say it's similar. It's like toned down encounters, so I'm not like the biggest hater yet. But I know like once the competitive like portion of TFT really starts to kick in, like I know for a fact in terms of consistency, it's gonna feel really bad. Especially like black market prismatics. I think it's gonna be probably one of the worst things that's gonna come out of this. But overall though, I still, I mean, like just like anybody else, like it's still TFT. Like I'm still gonna take my time and enjoy it. But I think this set in particular, I really want to make sure I don't burn myself out.
Yeah, it's the RNG factor, huh, of the hacks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, alright, well, I want to dive into the meat of this interview, the two TFT projects you founded, Project MENTR and Project PBE. Let's start with Project MENTR.
Sure.
Do you want to explain what Project MENTR is? I would explain it, but one, I think people want to hear it from like the creator himself, and two, I don't think I'll be able to do it justice with my explanation, just because it's that cool of an idea.
Sure. Yeah, I'll summarize it as much as I can.
Okay.
It's basically like a personal training program that spans across the whole competitive leg of a set. So it's not the whole set, but rather like until like usually the market we do is like the end of the second cup. And during that time, so it's about 3 months. But during that time, basically you get twice a week mentorship with a coach, a top player from around the globe, whether that's North America, EU West, wherever. And then you work with them twice a week, coaching sessions. On top of that, there's once a week group VOD review sessions that are led by myself. And basically you get to talk to all the other people who are in the program and the other mentors and like, you know, learn about the program. Not just the program, but like the set and everything else. Let's see, let me figure out what's by here.
For sure.
I will do this for now. But yeah, and then there's other stuff as well. There's a mid and end of set tournament. It's you get to win some of your money back. It is a big investment, I will say. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like the price tag isn't large. It definitely is. But I think it's well justified over the course of the amount of hours, plus like your chance to win back some of your money. And also like you get a comprehensive report at the very end, which tells you everything that you have improved upon, and all that is scored specifically by your mentor. So
oh yeah, that's super
kind of
cool.
the gist of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You mentioned the group VOD review sessions with the apprentices during their time in the program. How do you think the group VOD review sessions, I guess, impact the way the players engage with the game and with each other?
So I think the group sessions are really nice. So actually, when we first did Project MENTR back in set 12, it was not something that we had offered initially, but all folks who joined the program kind of felt like this underlying implication that like there's sort of like this
Ooh, so this is the hacks, right?
Yeah, I might just take caretakers and call it, and then just have an easy game. I could even take okay, I have investment strategy, so I could just go like Nitro and just like turn my brain off.
Yeah.
And I can focus on the review, because low-key I'm kind of down for that.
How good is Nitro? Have you played the PBE quite a bit?
Nitro's pretty good. I don't think it's terrible by any means. It's really straightforward.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I don't get contested, because I think if the line's contested, it's pretty bad. Someone took overclocked for AMP.
There's a Bastion tower defense guy.
I got button mash team building. Oh man, I really want to take it, but I don't think I can. Cool, this is fine for now. If you find Shyvana, let me know. I kind of need it.
Okay, well the problem is I don't have a shot for 3 rounds, so because of delayed start.
Oh fuck. Okay, it's fine. Oh,
so I mean, I'll let you know. I'll let you know, but like it might take a while.
Yeah, but okay, so going back to the project mentor thing. So yes, the group VOD review sessions, there's an underlined implication that I didn't realize was even there, but we always ask for feedback at the very end, and I interview like as many people as possible who went through the program just so I can get feedback and like try to improve it. And so the group VOD reviews, I think 2 or 3 folks had mentioned it, and that was when I was like, okay, that is definitely something we need to do in the future. So we implemented it for the first time in set 13, and they went pretty well, I would say, but it definitely felt like you could see like the first couple, there's like a huge, like almost every person in the program was participating, but then at a certain point it like kind of like dwindled down a little bit, because either maybe some folks had time commitments that were like different, or like maybe other people were just sort of like, you know what, that's not really my thing anymore. I thought it might be, but maybe it's not, and that's totally fine as well. But I think overall though, it really does help foster like a sense of community, which I think is like the most important thing that comes out of it. So yeah. In the end, like I think, you know, even though it might be something, because it's optional, you don't have to join. So I think it's nice to have, and it can definitely help, especially if you are somebody who like plays TFT and wants to take it competitively and wants to take it seriously, but you don't have that people around you. Like, you can definitely just find a lot of community there. And I know even for some folks, they even create like their own study groups coming out of the program, which I thought was really great.
Yeah, I feel like just being able to talk about TFT with other people just helps you improve at the game so much quicker and so much more efficiently.
For sure.
You also mentioned the relatively high price point compared to some like the other TFT coaching things, but were you ever worried about not finding enough apprentices for the initial iteration of Project Mentor? Because like for
100%.
because for the second iterations you already have like the previous Project Mentor experience, right? People know about the program more, but the very first time, like, were you a little worried, or were you confident that?
I was hella worried. So I'm actually still to this day amazed that the apprentices the first time, not the apprentices, the mentors the first time around were actually down to partake, because a lot of these guys, like, these are world-class players, right? So it's like, you are, like, if you get a regular coaching session with some of these guys, like, it can cost a lot, like 30, 40, 50 bucks a session, and that's like for 1 hour session, right? And I think effectively they were all getting paid like 12 or 15 bucks an hour equivalent, like being in the program in the first place. So like, it might have been more than that, I don't remember exactly, but it definitely was like a lot less than what they should have been paid. So like, I'm really grateful that they went through with it. Like, I actually lost money the first iteration because
how come?
I just wanted proof of concept. So I think I charged $525 per person for the course of 3 months. And so each mentor, I tried to pay as much as I could, and I think I landed on like 300-ish per mentor. And then on top of that, there's like the tournament prizing money. There was like some other like small fees, like PayPal takes a lot of, like, initially we just did PayPal for all of the transactions, so that like PayPal would eat fees as well. And like that ate up stuff, and then some other stuff as well. Like, I didn't have a separate bank account, so it was like really difficult sometimes to like see where the money was for Project Mentor. I do now, so it's totally chill, but like before then it was like really like a mess. And that's kind of the, you know, kind of how things go when you first create like a sole proprietorship. It's like it gets messy sometimes, but you learn along the way.
Okay. It seems really tough to get it up and going in the beginning, but once you get it started, it seems like once you get into the groove, it seems okay.
Yeah, and again, like the whole first iteration, like it was like it's less than half the price of what we charge now, because we needed proof of concept, but also we needed to make sure that like people, like, if there is even a market for like a premium like personal training program across that, right? And I think what we found out is that there is. It's not large, but it's definitely there. Right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was looking at Project Mentor stuff. There are definitely people just that seem to really enjoy that experience.
Yeah, we created actually like we created a retention program actually. So like my background is actually So I'm actually really self-taught in a lot of different fields, and like specifically like not to go like too deep into the woods, but like I was a biology like pre-med major, and then I was like halfway through it in undergrad, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So then instead of looking for like a different major shit that would have cost me another 4 years at university, I just started self-teaching myself marketing. And then eventually I was able to start working professionally for about a year doing marketing management stuff. And like ideation and campaigns, all this kind of other stuff. And like one of the big things was like a retention model and like building that kind of thing. And I think what has come out of the program as well is that the folks who have been in the program are very likely to actually re-enroll, because we offer so much for these people to re-enlist and like stay within the community and stay connected.
Yeah.
So I think it's been really nice for a lot of folks. Also, I'm playing Shaco reroll. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, I got a Twisted Fate for you. I was looking at your board earlier.
Oh, okay. I don't play double up at all, so I'm like really.
Oh no, they changed so many things. You see the cannon on the top, on the bottom right? You can send champions every 4 turns now, so I low-key just might send you a Twisted Fate here.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, and then
I need. Oh, word. Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, but the thing
I
is,
definitely need Shakos.
Shaco. Okay, yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that one. But the thing is, it takes up a bench slot, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that trade-off is worth. Low-key, it feels pretty bad not being able to hold like your own units plus your partner's units, but we'll see. But then,
yeah, for sure.
yeah. When you first began this Project Mentor thing, you mentioned that you felt like traditional TFT coaching methods were sort of flawed. Like, what are the biggest misconceptions players have about improving in TFT?
It takes so much time. I don't think people understand like how much time and how much you don't understand about the game. Especially like you see those comments all the time of people who are like, oh, TFT is like a game of luck and like there's not any skill involved, and it's just like, did you high roll your shop this game? And like, yes, there are edge cases where like people will just like kind of high roll their shit and then they just don't have to really worry about the game from their specific spots. A lot of the time, and I would argue like 90% of the time, it's a lot of like controlling the variance and making sure that you are, you know, seeing all this stuff and conditions coming out of your way, and you really need to make sure you like are tailoring that down as much as possible to your advantage. And so when it comes to coaching, like I remember when I first got coached myself, I was coached by a friend of mine. Well, he's actually a friend of a friend of mine, but he hit rank 1 in set 8. And I don't know what he's doing now, but like he's chill. He's just one of those guys that just like picked up the game and just like does incredibly well. But I remember getting coached by him, and I was just like, I was like masters like 100 LP at the time, and I could not climb any higher. And I remember talking to him, and I was just like, I do not approach this game anywhere nearly as well as I thought I did. Like I think that's what's the biggest thing. And I think even Taro, like recently, he went to Worlds multiple times as a Japanese representative. Like he's talked about how like he believes that like the biggest jump in like mindset comes from masters to grandmasters. Like I'm pretty sure he tweeted this like last night. So like I think he makes a really good point. Like you really don't realize like how little you understand about the game until you really just sit down and like try and figure it out. So I think that might be one of like the bigger misconceptions when it comes to it.
Yeah, because I mean anyone can just win a high roll game, right? But being able to squeak out a top 6, being able to squeak out a top 4, that's like just being able to recognize the correct lines is, I feel like it's such a hard skill to learn. It's not like, it's not a really obvious skill to learn. It's just something you gotta like practice and just keep working on.
Yeah, for sure.
What sort of challenges come with growing this program by doubling the number of apprentices from 8 to 16?
Yeah, so that's like, well, one, you have very little people who are interested in the first place, because you know you don't have that many people who are willing to spend like $1,200 on their favorite hobby, right?
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's tough because we can't do like monthly payments. I would love to do something like that, but the whole point is you are buying into this because you are staying committed, right? And you are by actually like purchasing this large price tag, you are saying to yourself, this is something I want to do, this is something I will stay committed to for the next like 3 months. So like there's really no easy way out for it. Like we just have to kind of do it, and so we get less interest. There's always the comments that are like, oh, $1,200 for a lucky like RNG game. Like fuck that shit. Like why, who'd be stupid enough to pay something like that, you know? But I think $1,200 on your favorite hobby it's definitely a luxury product, don't get me wrong. But is it so egregious to the point where I'm just like, it's unheard of? No. I've seen people spend way more money for like a one-time dinner where they go and they don't even like the people that they've seen that they're meeting there. So it's like there's definitely like people out there who are more than willing to spend like X amount of money on like a certain product. And again, it's a luxury product. This should not be for people who are like barely making it by. I would actually disencourage and disincentivize anybody who's like interested in the program but they can like barely afford it. Like don't buy into it.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that. Your financial stress should not come from can I afford Project Mentor. It should come from, you know, can I afford my like am I doing well in school enough, you know, like stuff like that. Like I don't want you to be stressed about money when you're in the program. That should be like the last thing. This is really again like just for people who are truly comfortable like affording it, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You do some TFT coaching yourself, but what aspects of TFT do you think would make coaching particularly difficult compared to maybe coaching other games? I don't know if you've coached other games, but what do you think would make it difficult?
I've not coached other games before personally. But so a buddy of mine, his name's Tony. What is his? Zeke's lol. He used to coach for TSM. He's coaching at 100 Thieves now for the Valorant team, I believe.
Yeah.
Really good dude, but you know, hearing his perspective when it comes to like coaching Valorant and stuff, and him coaching multiple games, obviously I can't speak for him, but I think from what I've heard from him talking about it, it's one of those like TFT specifically has this big problem of like one, the set changes all the time, right? Like it's meta defining based on the patch. Every patch you're not relearning the game per se, but you have to relearn lines, right? Like so for example, I'm trying to do you want 9 gold or do you want a random component?
Random component?
It says random component.
Okay, sure. I'll take random component.
Alright, cool.
Yeah. I have 1 Shaco for you.
Maybe wait until it's a Shaco 2?
Okay, I'm level 7 this. I'm not sure how if I can hit it, you know, but I mean I can hold on to it.
Those aren't over yet. I don't need it yet.
Yeah, and then I'll probably play Ziggs, some strategist thing.
Okay.
If possible.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so I think going back to the question, so yeah, so when it comes to TFT, having to relearn lines is really annoying. And I think knowing how to relearn lines is also really hard. Like it's something even I'm struggling with, and I think a lot of like low challenger, mid challenger can struggle with as well. Where it's like before when you played X comp, you would, you know, it used to be a loose streak comp, and you like full open into whatever. But now it's like, oh well, maybe instead of doing that, based on this patch, now you only take this comp and loose streak with it if there's this augment present on 2-1, right?
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. So it's like having to relearn stuff like that, and that's a very easier example. A lot of comps actually have very tough nuances to really understand, and it's really like a game of pattern recognition where over time like you will eventually get there, but it's going to take a while for you until you really get to the point of being like, hey, like this is a pattern I've seen before in a particular line, and then I can just reapply it again, yada yada yada. I'm getting better at the game.
Yeah, hold on, let me send you a gift. You want a champion duplicator and 10 gold artifact or 3-5 costs?
What is the artifact one?
It's an artifact item. I have no idea what it is.
I just send over that. Fuck it, I don't care.
Artifact?
I'm barely hitting. Yeah, I'm barely hitting the Shakos, but okay. Whatever. I'm pretty sure the correct place is take the duplicator, but okay, I lost. Well, actually, no. Lichbane sounds pretty good on TF.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sounds okay. It sounds okay. It doesn't sound like the worst. Could be better. Could be better though. I'll say that. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like
know someone, but...
yeah, like the fact that TFT just changes every 3 months. Like some skills just transfer over, right, between set to set, but like there's so many new things you have to learn between each set that makes it pretty hard.
Yeah, I think what people don't realize though is that like a lot of compositions follow these same patterns. It's just colored in a new way, right? Like I think I was actually gonna do like a whole video on this like later, but like for example, like this set, I can't say with 100% confidence, but I'm pretty sure Bash and Zeri at some point will see it in the meta, and like that is just it's basically a reprint of like Fairy Callista or like Bastion Aphelios from like set 9 or set 12, right? Like if you can recognize these patterns and like know when to be like, oh, like this is the exact same thing as before, like you'll have a much easier time navigating a new set, right? And I think a lot of seasoned pros have like that big leg up compared to other players nowadays.
Yeah, there's so many similar archetypes that happen just set after set after set.
Yeah. All
right. Well, I think we can transition to your other project, Project PBE. I mean, that's the reason we're even playing double up on PBE in the first place, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it follows a similar naming convention as your Project Mentor, but it's a completely different program. Do you wanna explain what Project PBE is?
Yeah, so Project PBE is it's basically Champions Queue from. So if people are familiar with Champions Queue from League of Legends, sorry, give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna roll down all my cash here.
For sure.
I need to hit my dude. You said you have 1 Shaco?
Yeah, 1 Shaco.
Right,
I got you.
Oh, never mind. I found it. Oh, fuck.
Oh,
I miscounted. Okay.
That's on me.
Right,
That's on me.
No. It's my fault. Like GS.
There's another Shaco player in this lobby, but
yeah, they can go fuck themselves.
He's too off, bro. He's too off. He's not that close.
Yeah, I'm holding the extra one. Like, I'm not telling it. But yeah, so Project PBE is basically Champions Queue. So Champions Queue was actually a program originally created by Riot Games for high elo players in I think it wasn't just North America. I thought it was like any region, but I could be wrong on that. But basically, like, high elo players could have this like Discord server where they could queue into it for certain hours of the day and be able to I just won. But they could queue in at certain points of the day and then be able to practice the game basically with like really high elo practice. And it was like something that I know like a lot of pros in NA were like, we need this so bad, like NA needs like develop talent or whatever. But it had a lot of flaws, right?
Yeah.
And so some of the, and I guess we talk about this later, but generally that's the gist. And so Project PBE, going back to what it is, basically it's a way for top TFT pros and players to get into game and find each other very quickly without having to deal with this whole like, do you have space in your in-house lobby or like whatever. And then we also, we create a ranked ladder system, so folks who are playing in the project can actually compare the scores compared to others, learn what other top players are doing, but then also get good practice out of it. And if you are in the top 24 of that leaderboard at the end of the ladder grind portion, which is about 4 to 5 days, you gotta partake in the major, which is like our version of a 2-day tournament for like it's like a checkmate format for basically some bit of prizing. That
tournament thing is something you guys added. It wasn't in the initial iteration, right? It was something you guys added later on.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
We added it, by the way, if you have TF, let me know. I need 1.
I got 1 TF. I'm holding it for you. I can send it in 3 rounds.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna solo it. But yeah, it wasn't actually in the first iteration. You're right on that. Our first iteration, what we did was, let's see, I'm trying to remember. Our first iteration, we didn't include it, not because we didn't want to, but because we thought that the latter portion would be enough. But then, so the thing about these kinds of events as well, like you have to take into consideration, like, trying to find sponsorship, because a big driver for people even partaking in the first place is the prize money. And right now, the prize money is like $1,000, but that's myself subsidizing it. And I've been subsidizing it myself like every set.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, except actually, funny enough, except for the first iteration, which is let's say you'd at least expect people to be helping us out with it. But yeah, that one was like, I could only afford $150 out of my own pocket that set, but then I think it was like crowdsourced like 800 something,
wow,
which is super dope. And it was like the first time ever we did it, so it was like really cool. And after that, I was like, I gotta start subsidizing my own money more, but I also feel terrible just asking for donations without some way to give back. So we're gonna find some way to give back to people who choose to donate, but also I also want to find a way to attract sponsorship. So that's why we did the PBE major. So that way, if we get a lot of viewership during it, we can secure sponsorship and convince companies to sponsor the event and being like, hey, we have eyes on this thing that, a lot of players happen to really enjoy watching. Would you consider sponsoring it, right?
Yeah.
I would say that we've also included like a tracker this set as well, which is really, really new. Basically, so now when players play in Project PBE, they'll have the tracker on the top left. And then if a brand were to sponsor, for example, we could put their logo on there. And then this project is being seen. Yeah, so like this project is being seen by like a lot of people. Like, I'm not trying to exaggerate, but like realistically speaking, we have players like YBY1 playing in it. We have this set. We have players like Tidal playing in it. We have so many cool people who are playing in it. But these are people who actually generate a lot of viewing numbers just on their own streaming services. So when you think about putting all those people under the same project and the same name, like that's when you're really gonna start seeing like like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of viewers throughout the course of the project.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, just having the sponsor on the tracker. And then
Yeah, I mean, I hope they bite. So far, no one has bitten, but I have not reached out enough because we didn't have proof of concept to track until this set. So this set I have to like really track down the numbers.
yeah, hopefully you guys get a sponsor. Yeah, so like you said, you got so many like super high elo players, right? YVY1 title. Was it a difficult process to gather that many high level players from all over the world for, maybe not for this project PBE, but for like previous ones, for like the first iterations?
Yeah, so actually funny enough, the first iteration was not the hardest. It was actually the second iteration was the hardest to get people.
Wow.
The first iteration wasn't hard because, and the reason I say that was because it was really easy to get people hyped on something that was like completely brand new. I can't move. There you go. You know, like the first time we announced it, it's like people are hyped because they're like, holy shit, like, you know, TFT does not have anything remotely like this. This is like really good for the community, etc., right?
Yeah.
But the second time it came around, it was like, okay, now people are kind of aware of what it is. So like what makes it so much more unique compared to before? And you know, some folks have tried it and maybe it wasn't their thing. And that's fine as well. But to be honest, the only region that we don't see a big showing for Project PBE is actually NA.
Really?
Like every other region, like APAC especially, EUS especially, like they are huge fans of it, being able to like partake in it. But like NA, like we always get like very few players from NA, and I don't know if that's just because NA has their own like system for like devising these lobbies, so they don't have a need for it necessarily. I know like people in lobby 2 are like constantly just like finding lobbies and stuff, so it's not ever like that difficult. But you know, I think for a lot of folks as well, like when I think of Project PBE, it's like it's a practice tool, right? So you are, let's say you are trying to find in-houses, but you're waiting, you're bored, and you don't want to wait for like 40 minutes to get into an in-house. Like, you can just queue into Project PBE while you're waiting, and that's totally fine, right? Like, yes, there's a ladder portion of the event. Yes, there is a major at the end if you want to partake in that as well. But realistically speaking, like, I would be totally okay with top players just like signing up for the program. And then if they only can play like a couple games throughout the whole thing, that's fine too. Like, I just want this to be like the go-to practice tool for these players.
All right, let me roll down a bit, and then
yeah, you're good. I think I gotta reforge this. Oh fuck. Okay. Who am I missing? I'm missing Zed and Jarvin. What's missing? MF.
MF and Jarvin, you said?
Yeah. Do you need any? I feel like I've not sent you anything the whole game.
I mean, you were rolling a lower cost, so I was like, it's whatever. I just need Ziggs, I guess.
Ziggs?
Also, I just have a Garen too on my board, but on my bench. But I need to try to find a way to fit that in.
Oh wait, do we? Oh, nice.
Oh wow, they're out, I guess.
Oh, do you want a champ dupe or do you want a complete item?
Low key, I might take a champ dupe just to stabilize.
Alright, yeah, I'll send it over.
Balancing accessibility and high level competition seems really tricky for this sort of event. Like the first iteration, you guys started with 300 competitors. The second was with 250. And the last one was with like, I mean, this one was with like 325 competitors.
Yeah, like it sucks because like I know we did not want to drop the number of players for the second iteration, but it's my fault really. Like I was like, oh yeah, like so many people love Project PBE, we're gonna get like fucking like so many players interested, let's get 900 signups for the next iteration, and then we got like barely over like 300 or 400, and I was like, this is bad. Like we cannot we cannot have 900 people in this thing, let alone like the bot is not stable at 900 either. So I don't even know what I was thinking, but
yeah, I mean it's respectable to be ambitious.
Yeah, so that's why we ended up cutting it, because at the end of the day, like I think the competitive integrity of the event is what really the most important, and if we don't have that, then like the event just falls apart. Like it's supposed to be very high level practice, and you know, if we have like, you know, not no flame, but like if we have like masters like 100 LP players playing in the thing, I mean, like, you know, it's not good level. It's not good practice. Like it's
Yeah, fair enough.
frankly not. And, yeah. So.
Do you want to
I encourage.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, well, do you want an artifact anvil, support anvil, masterwork upgrade, or 30 gold?
Oh, give me that masterwork upgrade.
Yes, sir.
What the fuck? Alright, if I had to guess, it's probably Hodge.
Probably. That makes sense. So with like the 325 competitors, do you think you finally hit the sweet spot in terms of number of competitors, or do you think you'll eventually want to just keep going, just keep growing?
I think
more?
If we can get NA to sign up, we can definitely increase it. But at this point, a lot of APAC have signed up, especially like the top echelon of like I would argue we have the top players from Japan, Korea, EU West, all playing in this thing. It's really just NA that's lacking. So like if NA partakes as well, like we can definitely increase the capacity a little bit. I don't think it could be really much higher than what it is currently, but maybe 350, 375 is probably like the maximum. I can't really see it being more than that though.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many top level players, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But I mean, the number of players from the East, Asia especially, like, wow. I see like the people who sign up. It's crazy.
Yeah, we had so many players, and this shout out to CupX. She is sort of like my contact for like a lot of the Chinese players. And she was like, she heard about Project PBE super early on and was like very willing to like help out. And even this set was like, all right, let me reach out to like all these players and see like who we can get. And she was like the big reason why we were able to get some really huge players. Like, I think in set 12 we had like, it was really unfortunate because of the whatchamacallit, the EWC was like too close. So a lot of players were like, oh, like we want to prep for EWC, so we can't really partake. But there was like players like Ahao, Flancy, Shung, I don't know if Shunga signed up, but Weibo Gaming Easy, he reapplied by as well, which is super dope. But there's like so many like of these like Chinese pros as well. Like if we get China involved as well, like we could definitely, realistically, we could even increase it up to like 425 even. And
yeah,
it's really just like top players of every region partaking, but
yeah,
it is tough to get there though. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell how much interest like China has just because of the PBE servers. Like whenever you try to log in when it's nighttime in China, it takes forever to get in. Has like the instability of the PBE servers affected Project PBE negatively in any way? Or
oh yeah, it's definitely not a perfect event. There's only so much that we can do because the PBE servers are so they're so unstable, and there definitely be times where like I know they've had to, I forget if it was last set or the step before. I think it was the step before, but the PBE had such a load because of TFT's popularity that like the servers were straight up unstable, and like games themselves were unstable. Like you actually would like load into game, and sometimes like you just could not like move your unit or like stuff around, and that would cause issues with players being like, hey, this seems unfair. Or, you know, there are times where like the scores wouldn't aggregate properly because the API wasn't sending the correct information. So like we've managed to solve most of those things at this point, but you know, we can only do so much. The Project PBE team is really just myself and my roommate who like helped me code the thing. Also, I am dying. I think I'm dead.
I think we might be dead actually.
Yeah, but
oh, I got executed. Wow.
Wait, so if you're dead, am I dead?
Yeah, we're both dead. We share an HP pool.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that was a really close second.
I've never played. There's ranked in this?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised there's ranked in PBE, but yeah, there is ranked.
Oh, what? Oh, I had no idea. That's so sick.
Yeah, I've tried going for the double challenger, but that was a little too hard.
It does seem a bit ambitious. I'm sorry, I'm like bronze at double up. I don't know anything that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, bro. You never played it before. I guess what's next for Project PBE? The game finished a little early, so I have one more question coming up. But what's next for Project PBE? Like, what's like the next big milestone you want to achieve?
I want NA to partake. That is like my only goal. I really just want NA to partake, and I want to secure sponsorship. And I think those two goals are lined up. If we can get, like, if the prize pool can be like 10 grand,
Yeah.
NA players will sign up.
For sure.
So like, if we can get that sponsorship portion figured out, I think the NA players will come in as well. But I think that is what I hope for Project PBE. And hopefully we can increase the signups and automate the process a bit more. I hate like manually checking everybody's stats, but that's just how it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're done with that first game, but we're not quite done with the interview just yet.
Yeah, of course.
We covered all your ambitious projects, but now I want to focus on you as a content creator. Before we move on, do you want to shout anyone out that helped you with Project PBE and MENTR?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so shout out to all of the folks who... All right, let me start with Project PBE.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, shout out to my roommate because he was... we've known each other for a long time. We've known each other since college. But shout out to him because he's really like the sole developer on the project. And without him, like none of this is possible. So huge shout out to him because I know he works super hard on like all this stuff as well. And like he doesn't have to, but you know, he does it because he needs something for his portfolio for coding. And this looks really nice on his resume. So there you go. But shout out to him. Shout out to Nora, who is one of the admins for the project. They've been really helpful in terms of helping us like run things smoothly, always there in case you need an extra hand. It's always super willing to help, so shout out to them as well. And Cupex for helping us get all of these like Chinese players interested and involved as well, because I definitely have no way to contact these people, so having her as well is super nice. And I guess Clement as well, because Clement has been, he was actually casting with us for the PBE major back in set 12. So
oh wow, well. Yeah, he was casting Worlds like a week ago, right?
Yeah, so like I don't know if he'll be casting this time around, but like he's always more than welcome to. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Would love to have him back. As for Project MENTR, obviously shout out to all the mentors as well, especially the first iteration of mentors, because they were the ones who were really taking a chance on the project. And now it's become this thing that like I feel very confident and proud to be, you know, showcasing to everybody and offering to everybody. So shout out to them as well, because obviously none of it's possible without them. And I don't want to forget anybody. I'm just trying to remember if I'm forgetting anybody, but oh yeah, and I guess also shout out to Sylveon actually. So I don't know if people know this or not, but Sylveon was sort of like my test subject for the first iteration ever back in set 11, which it wasn't even like a paid thing. It was like a, hey, can I coach you for like X amount of months and on a consistent basis to see how this feels.
Yeah.
Because at the time he was looking for coaching, and I was like, you know, I could help you out. And he was like, sure, why not? And we coached for a bit, and then I was like, you know what? I think this project has legs. It fell through because we both ended up deciding that we hated encounters. So like, it didn't really, but it was a really good way for us to start setting up the legs and the base of the program before it's expanded to where it is today. So shout out to him as well.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to let the listeners know where they can find your stuff, especially the Project PBE and MENTR info? Yeah,
of course. So Project PBE, so signups actually closed. I don't know when this video is coming out, but signups for Project PBE close tomorrow on the 21st.
Oh, I mean, it's gonna close before I finish working on it. But
yeah, I figured as much. But you can find the information on both the current Project PBE and the past Project PBEs all on projectsbykai.com. Same with Project MENTR as well. If you want to sign up for that comes, I think the signups close on the 26th. Again, I don't know when this video is coming out, but March 26th is when those signups close for Step 14. And then Step 15, usually the sign up period, by the way, is only like 10 days long. So like it's a really short window to sign up for the program. So if you want to sign up for it, you can go over to the website, sign up for news, email reminders, so you can be informed on when that happens as well. But everything is on projectsbykai.com. Yeah, fantastic website, by the way. It's super clean. Thank you. I worked so hard on that shit, man. It took me, it was like my 7th or 8th iteration of a website. So wow. Like, it took a while to get there, but glad it's there. Okay, so if it wasn't clear enough, there is a part 2 of the Watanabe Kai interview coming in a couple of days. Do you think that has any impact? That's like Nardwar levels of investigation. That's like crazy. what was that from? Yeah, wow, you did your research. Yeah, so if you don't want to miss it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And that's it. I'll see you guys later.